Welcome to another episode of Mentis Progressivas. I'm your host, Omar Prieto, and today we're going to be talking about mindset and empowerment. And for that, I have none other than Shadab Mugab, she is a finance head by profession and mindset and empowerment coach by passion. Shadab, thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Umar, for having me. I'm excited to be here and share my experiences and perspective with your audience. So thank you so much.
No, this is going to be brilliant because you're working in the finance industry. However, you touching certain patterns when it comes down to the mindset and empowerment. And I want to speak a little more about that. Obviously, I would like to talk a little bit of finance and how everything is enhancing because at the end of the day, you're doing both. I love the fact that you said that you're doing by profession, but your passion is when it comes down to coaching. And that's what you're trying to focus on your entrepreneurial journey. So I want to talk about a little bit of the mindset and the empowerment, how you were able to identify that that's something for you as a passion. That's something that I really want to go for it. I really want to start diving into the entrepreneurial mindset when it comes down to it, when it comes down to just setting yourself for something that you felt a drive inside you.
Thank you so much. It's a great question, Umar. And to be honest with you, I never thought of becoming a mindset and empowerment coach. I was content with my full-time job, or you can say 9 to 5 job as a finance professional, because I started at a junior level and now I reach a level of a finance head. And I was having a great career, prospering career, great life, support, family, system, everything was going perfect in my life, and maybe all the luxuries as well. But there was something inside me that kept whispering, that kept on calling me that there is more to life. There is, I always felt there is something missing, a longing for something more, maybe a sense of a greater sense of purpose, or a deeper connection, or understanding the total essence of life. So what I did was, it was a journey. It was a self-exploratory journey. I did it for my own reasons. I was having a good career. Good life, but there was something that was keep calling me. And in that moment, I embarked on a journey of self-development. It was purely for my own reasons. I wanted to know more about myself because I felt that I'm not connected to myself. I'm not happy. Yes, maybe I have a good job. I have a good family, support system, everything. But there is something missing, and which was my connection to myself. It was a conflict that I was feeling from inside, or I can say a void that I was feeling at that point in time. So I started exploring self-development field, and when I started, the first few years were extreme chaos, I would say. It was just patterns coming up and everything like that. And in fact, I would like to mention one more thing. As a teenager, even before my finance career, as a teenager as well, I used to observe patterns in my own life and in the lives of other people. For example, a person having a series of abusive relationship, a person getting out of one abusive relationship to enter into another, or one toxic job environment to enter into another, richer getting richer, poor getting poor. So there was a pattern behind every single thing. And I've always been a keen observer, and I was like, maybe life is trying to teach us something. But why? Because I can really see these patterns, but I wasn't really sure what's really happening. And I was, as a child as well, I was very, very curious to know about the nature of reality, or how the mind really works, why people do what they do, why I do what they do, why I behave in a certain manner, or feel in a certain manner. So these were the questions that start popping up in my head at that point in time, and I started exploring. And as I said, the first 3 years or 4 years were complete chaos. When I can say that, dark nights of the soul. I can say that it was a dark night of the soul. And at that point in time, I tried countless methodologies and everything. And at that point in time, I had little or no success. But after a decade of this experience with my own self and this journey of self-development, I can proudly say that now I know how the mind really works. Now I know why people do what they do, how these life patterns that are reoccurring in our life are, affecting each and every behavior of us, or even a thought, feeling, or a action of us. So, fast forward, it was for my own reason. But one day I had an epiphany that why shouldn't I utilize or this wisdom that I have gained over the years and share it with the people and help them, because I was seeing that people are suffering from the same problems that I was having. So why not to help them? And in that moment, I didn't realize that coaching could be the medium to that. After 2 years, I was in UK. It was a break time, I would say. I was on my vacations and I was enjoying by myself. And in that point in time, I realized that coaching could be the medium to that. So I started exploring different online courses, but there was too much pressure that I was inserting on myself. Why? Because I was coming from the place to make it happen. In that moment, I realized that I really need to surrender this control. And when I surrendered that control, Amar, you won't believe, this opportunity landed on my lap. And the next thing I see that I was already enrolled with the GSRT certification school. And now I can proudly say that I'm a mindset and empowerment coach. So I always say to people, this was my purpose, but I didn't find my purpose. My purpose found me. So this was the journey of me.
Thank you so much. That's pretty amazing. And you obviously been doing a lot of inner work. You obviously have done so much into it. You really dive into so many topics that I do relate a lot. The main one for me is that even though you had a very successful career, you're still rising. Everything is going in the direction that at least at that moment you felt it was correct. Something inside of you, it was missing. You frame it in a different way, because I remember asking myself that question. My question was, why am I not happy? It had nothing to do with me. I was doing personal training, but I wasn't feeling that fulfillment. I'm like, I do love what I do, but why am I not happy? And the fact that you start diving into it and asking that question, like, why just doesn't feel right? Why is that fulfillment that you didn't feel? And you start going through a journey and just really asking yourself and really working on the mindset, and how everything starts with the mindset and just wanting to do something different, something, I wouldn't say necessarily better, because we don't know if it's going to be better. We just know that it's going to be completely different. But you honestly start diving into it. When it comes down to that particular path of realization, what patterns can you see that you were able to take from your professional life of the 9 to 5 that you have, the career, that you start applying going into this journey as a coach and empowerment and working on the mindset? What are the patterns that you see, you start implementing, you start bringing them into it? Some of them are able to help you, but some of them are able to stop you. However, I don't know if you can tell us a little bit about that, because I think that's going to be very powerful, because a lot of us want to go into a different path, but we want to start just all over again, not realizing that some of the patterns and some of the things that are working well, we can bring them into this new path that we want to go as entrepreneurs. I really want you to dive a little more into that, because I think that's going to be very, very powerful for the audience.
Oh, definitely. And thank you for bringing that question, because when you were asking this question, I could really go back to the time when I started this journey. First, I would like to highlight the patterns that were not working for me. Okay. As a finance professional, I was extremely, you can say, coming from a perfectionist mindset. We all have been there sometime. So needs to get things done right, needs to do it right. I have always been there. But when I dig it deeper, when I embarked on this journey and started digging deeper, the major cause for that was for a not enough personality, for a not enough mentality. Sorry. So not enough mentality. I am not enough. Things are not enough, or I haven't done enough. These are the three things or the phrases that kept popping in in my mind at that point in time. And I believe that it happens for each one of us at some time in our life, where we started believing, oh, I'm not enough. Maybe things are not enough. I need to have more, more, more. So the desire to have more, more, more was so much that I believe that I had left behind myself in that process. So from there, the journey really started. And when I got deeper into it, I realized that not only that there are some negative patterns, and which is completely fine. We just need to be aware of that. And there is always a choice. We can make that choice. Once can become aware of those patterns, and we have a choice to make a different choice this time. And that's what I did. Um, when it comes to the positive patterns or uplifting patterns, that I could say that the consistency, I would say that consistency is my strength. Discipline is my strength. These were the things. The leadership style that I had or have during my finance career has really, really, really beneficial for me to really, brought that mindset of discipline, or a discipline mindset of consistency. I brought this thing into the mindset coaching, which was extremely powerful, because now when I became an entrepreneur, I was going through a different journey. I have never tried something like that. I've always been good at, with the 9 to 5 job and everything. Now this is something different. Now it requires you to be disciplined. It requires to have consistency in your life. And it requires, and one more thing that I would like to mention, that the mindset I always had before was that I always used to take failures as feedbacks, failures as an opportunity to learn and grow. And this is how I have really progressed in my finance career. But now I had brought this mindset into where over here. Now in my entrepreneurial journey, when I'm trying different things, I'll be honest with you, there are things that are working for me, and that are not working for me. So when I feel that I have failed in something, but I do not see it as a failure, I see it as a feedback. Okay, maybe this strategy is not working for me. Maybe it is not the right time for me to go into this area for this. So maybe I can try something else, or maybe something else. So that's how I am evolving as an entrepreneur, as a mindset and empowerment coach, because no matter how much knowledge I have gained or implemented this knowledge over my life, over the years, entrepreneurship is something new for me. So I
Yeah.
am open. I am open to fail. I'm open to embrace change. I am open to whatever comes in my way, because I'm taking it as a learning curve. And
Yeah.
this is something really powerful that has been gifted by my finance career to my mindset career.
Yeah. Thank you very much for being so open. Because of the failures, I wouldn't say failures, the things that didn't work, didn't help you, didn't support you no longer, you were able to identify it. And therefore, when you go in your entrepreneurship journey, you're like, what are the things that are really working? Consistency and discipline. They are two of the most unnoticeable things the entrepreneurs need. And me personally, I do identify a lot when it comes down to discipline, because there are things I'm always sharing this with everyone. And I say, there are three things that you had to be aware. There are things that you want, things that you need, and things that you're supposed to do regardless of how you feel. Once you become entrepreneur, you start diving fully into your own personal growth. And as entrepreneur, you want to build your business. They are very powerful. If you can identify those three and put them in that category and start making decisions based on that. The second thing you mentioned is failure, you see as a feedback. There's not such a thing as failure, we know that, and it's always feedback. What is the feedback? Being able to take the experiences that you're gaining and start really becoming aware of it. Well, this is not working for me. Me personally, I'm always, when something is not working, I identify and I say, well, it's not working for me. Why is not working for me? If I'm not able to identify the why, I'm okay and I move on. Before I used to stay, but why is not working? I used to really, I need to find the answer. And I came to a place where I'm like, sometimes I don't need to know the answer. It's just not working, period. I leave it alone. I gotta move on. What I call that is the feedback loop. You, as entrepreneurs, it's very important to have the feedback loop, because once you have that feedback loop, you will be able to pivot as you go in your journey. You know, the other thing that I want to mention is oftentimes we entrepreneurs, we think that we just are entrepreneurs once we start launching our own business. But I want to invite you to, you are an entrepreneur even in your own career, because you were able to go from one place, you higher rank and higher rank. That's entrepreneurship itself. Entrepreneurship is that person that is continuing to challenge the status quo, is continue to challenge the things that are facing at the moment. So I just want to say, amazing job doing that. Congratulations on the whole entire journey. And I'm so glad that you're taking this even further. Now, you obviously work with many people that are struggling with the mindset and how to become empowerment. You mentioned a key thing for me, that is leadership. And you start bringing that into your particular entrepreneurial journey. What are some of the things that you see that people struggle the most when it comes down to the mindset? It could be imposter syndrome, could it be the victim mindset, the perfectionism, as you mentioned and you experienced already? What will be those things that you see, and how are you helping people start working on that and helping them navigate those particular mindset shifts?
Thank you so much for a great question, Omar. And you mentioned perfectionism, imposter syndrome, but I would like to add one more thing. That is a subconscious mind programming. With my clients, what I have seen, and with my own journey of a decade, I have seen that it is your subconscious mind programming that is really, really, really a big obstacle in your way. All these things, the perfectionism mentality, the not enough mentality, imposter syndrome, limiting beliefs, fears are fall down under the umbrella of the subconscious mind programming. And I would like to say that as per Dr. Joe Dispenza, 95% who we are by the age we are 35 is programmed. That means everything has been programmed now, which is mostly coming from the first 7 years of our life. Now, the limiting beliefs, or it could be empowering as well. The belief system has been built, the values has been built, and the attitudes, the behaviors, the way you think, feel, and behave has been built. And unfortunately, most of the time, even if you haven't really done the work, then you are not really aware of what's really happening behind your conscious awareness in your subconscious mind, because this is the vehicle of your life. It is driving the vehicle. Sorry, this is driving the vehicle of your life, to be very honest with you. And if you are not really aware of that, then you really need to be aware of that. And this is something I see people more struggling with when we talk about the fixed mindset or a limiting mindset. Where it is coming from, it is a byproduct of our limiting or the disempowering subconscious mind programming. And the bad part is that we are not even aware of that. The lack of awareness, the limiting beliefs, or the associated fears. It could be fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of unknown success, whatever it is. The negative critique, the negative inner dialogue that we have further compounds this thing. So when it comes to sit down and work on your mindset, to really work on shifting your mindset, now it will be a challenge for me. It was a major challenge for me as well. It took years for me to really get out of that subconscious mind, because now for years you learn those things and now you need to unlearn those things. You cannot just say that, okay, I am here to work on my mindset, I'm here to shift my mindset, and it happens within overnight. It really doesn't work that way. First, you really need to dig deeper. What's really happening? What is the beneath the surface? Because we really do not need to treat the symptoms. We need to really treat the causes. Because otherwise, if we are just treating the symptoms, it will come back. It will come back, and that's what I do in my coaching. What I really do is I always encourage people or empower people to first become aware of what's really happening inside of your subconscious mind. What are your limiting beliefs? What are your fears? Why do you fear that? And then once you become aware of that, there are many tools through which you can become aware. It could be reflection, it could be journaling, it could be meditation, mindfulness. There are many. Choose any that suits you, okay, that works for you. And I've tried all of these and others as well. I've tried all of these. And once you become aware of these programming and even the life patterns that I earlier talked about, the life patterns or the stories, then start questioning them. Because when you question your belief, when you question the narrative of your life, what it really happens, we all know that what is belief. Belief is something that we are extremely certain about. But when we pause a question and we start asking a question, if I feel that I am not enough, okay, ask a question, why you are not enough? I can't do this, why you can't do this? So by asking these simple questions, I always say that these are very powerful questions. Because when you start asking these questions, what really happens is that it's no longer a belief, because now you are doubtful about it. What you have really you have stepped into the subconscious mind and now brought this information towards your conscious awareness. And by doing so, what really happens that now you have an ability. It's no longer a program. You are an observer, and you are observing, detaching from the program, and you are observing from the outside that what's really happening. Okay, this is my belief system. This is the narrative of my life that I have been telling myself. I'll always say that your life is some of the stories that you are telling yourself. So what is the story that you are telling yourself? Once you do that, you have got the power now. You have really regained the control of your mind, because now you have a choice to make. You have a choice to make a different choice. It is completely up to you to make a different choice or to go back to your old patterns. And once you'll make a different choice, the different choice will lead you to different decisions. Different decisions will lead you to the different actions that you will be performing, and different actions will lead you to different results. So where it started from? It is started from the subconscious mind, from the awareness level. And now the result, let's say your result is you want to work on on your mindset. Then if you really want to build a achiever's mindset, you call it a progressive mindset, I call it a achiever's mindset. So when you really want to work on that thing, you really need to go deeper. That subconscious mind programming, and that I was talking about. Another thing that I have always realized, that no matter how powerful our subconscious mind is, people always emphasize on how powerful this subconscious mind is. But to be very honest with you, despite of the fact that it is extremely powerful, our cautious mind has got extreme power as well. It has got certain faculties that you cannot really ignore. My journey of self-development started with mere observation. Now, observation is a very, very powerful faculty of your mind, conscious mind. And the ability to accept or reject the ideas is another faculty. This ability, subconscious mind doesn't have this ability to accept or reject the idea, but our conscious mind has this ability to accept or reject the idea. So when life presents you with a not so good or unwanted idea, then you really need to question the authenticity of that idea, where it is coming from. Is it coming from the external environment or your internal environment? Once you do that, then you are already on a path on shifting your mindset. And the mindset shifts that really needs to people really needs to work on is how you really see the world. Are you seeing it from a limited perspective? How are you seeing from the negative glass of negativity or the lack mindset? So these are some things that I have learned from my own journey, and I have also witnessed in my entrepreneurial journey or the mindset coaching.
Yeah, those are very powerful points, though. I'm glad that you mentioned that everything comes from the subconsciousness mind, and now you're going into the conscious mind. And this is something for me was a game changer when I decided to go study psychology. It got to the point for me, I love spirituality, but it got to the point like there has to be more. Something inside of me was asking for a different level that I wasn't able to reach when it comes down to my own journey. When I dove into fully immersed into psychology and I learned about how the mind works, the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. Subconscious mind just holds all the emotions, feelings, experience, and memories. And the conscious mind is just the one that gives orders. Period. It's just as simple as that. There's no, it doesn't matter. So whenever you want to do something, who wins? I have this game that I call it the mind game. When you want to break a habit, you put a habit, let's say you want to go for a walk during the entire week, just 5K for an entire week, Monday, Tuesday, all the way down. And then you put, next day, you put the mind, myself, your name. Monday, you went. Okay, I won. The second day, oh, I didn't go. I didn't have time. It doesn't matter. Something happens. The mind won. Why? Because once you set up yourself, I'm going to do this, and if you're not able to execute it, who wins? It's just your mindset. It's just the mind. It's just the, but if you consciously, really constantly activate the conscious mind, you will be able to start creating so much. And I really love the fact that you start breaking the partners, because everything becomes your reality. The way you speak yourself, it becomes your reality. You know, your vocabulary creates your mentality creates your personality. That is a fact. But you mentioned Joe Dispersa. That's the person that says this, like your vocabulary builds your mentality, and your mentality builds your reality, your personality. So become more aware of that. And I think it's very powerful, all the things that you mentioned, as well as not just go to the surface level, always go to the roots. Because once you go to the roots, you will be able to, a lot of times, experience not such a great feelings, because it's very, very deep. But you had to be able to go to the root to identify where is this coming from? Why did I feel? I'm going to go back to when I was asking, why did I not happy? Why I don't feel fulfillment? When I identify it, I knew that everything was external because I follow every single personal development book to the T. When you achieve X, Y, and Z, it's the same thing happened to you. You were having all those things, having an incredible career. Something inside of you is like, has to be more than this. Me, it was like, I was not happy. And I got to work with some of the greatest minds, some of the greatest people, and very successful. And I was watching them. I'm like, so you're not happy. I'm trying to chase that you have, but you're not happy. And I'm not feeling happy. Something just doesn't click to me. What is it? And when I start diving into it, I'm like, this is it. I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm trying to look in the externals. So when I start going internal, going to the roots, that's when I fully immerse into spirituality. I'm like, okay, this is a different level. I was able to connect my mind with my heart. And that's something that you touch. You touch how the consciousness touches the subconsciousness. It's just the same thing. It's just different wire. And I love the frameworks because I would really want to put an emphasis on, we can use different languages. You can put whatever suits you best. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just different. That's another thing that I learned in psychology. It doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just different. If it suits you better, it suits you for you, just work on it.
Yeah.
But this works for me. And the languages, how can I start simplifying my language? How can I work on different things? And I love the fact that you too mentioned that you are in a constant higher achieving mindset. I call it progressive mindset. You keep progressing, call it, it's like innovation. But you mentioned it, a high achiever mindset, like achievement mindset. Where do you think, or where, where or when you start adapting that particular framework, if you can identify it, in how much impact it's making in your entrepreneurial journey. I know the impact that it created in your professional life, obviously, created great things. And now it's creating what I call uh, the snowball effect, right? But if you can able to identify it, if you can go back, when you were able to adapt it, and you're like, okay, this is a very powerful tool. It works for me. I'm gonna go full phase. I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna continue to adapt it and continue to work on it. Now you like in a way you really nailed it. You fully know how it works and the impact that it can create. Then now you even sharing it with others. You're like, hey, here's this powerful thing. Go and figure it out.
Great question. And to be very honest with you, it was just an intuitive idea. When I started my journey as a mindset coach, what I realized, I started journaling down my own journey, and I realized that when I was doing self-development work, what I was really doing, I was going deeper into studying the different mindset: growth mindset, fixed mindset, abundant mindset, lack mindset. It could be positive, negative, whatever these were. And then I picked up on the positive aspects of course, the uplifting mindset. It could be abundant, it could be positive mindset, it could be growth mindset. Okay. And then I built my own model of it. And the model, uh, which I name it as an achiever's mindset, the major attributes or the foundational pillars of this mindset is growth, abundance, and positive. Now, these are the pillars of this achiever's mindset. What I have really seen during my own journey, because I have read a lot of books and I was reading different minds, and I was really wanting to understand how they are doing things differently, because I have been into Tony Robbins workshops, and he always used to say success leaves clues. Now we really need to go deeper, and by just reading those books, I used to, identify those patterns that what are working for them. So what I realized that mindset is the single most important factor influencing person's success, whether it's personal or professional. The way you constantly think, the way you believe in the things you believe in, or the meaning you assign to certain circumstances directly impacts on the choices you are making or the decisions you are taking, and ultimately your decision. Every single individual or successful individual worldwide, there is a common denominator among them, and that is a right mindset. I again said, I started calling it a achiever's mindset, because what I saw in these people after reading, hundreds of books, what I really saw in these people, these were the people, who really used to focus on the positive rather than the negative. They do encounter obstacles or hardships in their life, but they choose to emphasize on the solutions. They do not get into the trap of blame game. Rather, they take complete responsibilities of their lives, of their actions. They do have inner critique as well. They do harbor limiting beliefs, but rather than becoming the victim of them, they are really working on in altering their belief system, or even if there is a negative word inside them, they do know how to alter them. People say that they are lucky, but I would say that every successful individual must have gone through hardships. The battles they must have fought, battles that nobody really have know nothing about. They must have those sleepless nights, or we only get to see the glamorous side of these people or their success. We never get to see the struggles they had to make, the pain, the sleepless nights, or whatever it was. But they didn't quit. They never quit. Why? Because they wanted to do something. They wanted to keep going, because the voice inside of them kept calling them. So these were the attributes of successful people. And one more thing that I would like to add, that I have seen with my own life and in the lives of other people, and with my clients as well, I call it a person have an achiever mindset. If a person is, I've seen that the one single thing that can tell me is that whenever adversity shows up, they believe there is something good in it. You know,
Yeah.
life is happening for them, not to them. So these were some of the attributes. And when I started picking up on those on an unconscious basis, first on conscious and then unconscious basis, then I started implementing it on my own life. Now I'm extremely conscious when I'm being negative. I'm extremely conscious when I'm complaining, because when I'm started complaining, I can see that how my entire body language changes, how even I can feel that the energy of the entire day changes. So these were the things that I was implementing in my own life during my self development journey. But when I became mindset coach, I sat down for a month. I decided to just write down or make a report of whatever I have learned over the years. It was about 1 or 2 months, I made an entire report. And the entire report wasn't something that I was copying, pasting from some, no. It was something that I learned during the years, and then I had to come up with the models of them. And then I came up with the model of achiever's mindset. So when I work with people, I always focus on helping them have that achiever's mindset. So first, you really need to, I always encourage them to, you really need to understand the growth mindset, the abundant mindset, and the positive mindset, and the mixture of it, or the combination or the combo of it will evolve as a achiever's mindset. So it was something I did, but I never knew I was doing it until I became a mindset coach, and I had intuitively, it was intuitive nudge or something that I need to sit down and, build my own models for that.
Yeah, that is very powerful though. And you touch, obviously, the power of journaling, the power of you keeping a report, how important it is, and the important that it's making and the impact it can create in your life. Once you start really getting all those thoughts and all those ideas that you have in your head, when you start writing it down, really trying to figure out, and I love the emphasis you put into, I really start asking myself, what has been working? You obviously have read so many books, several seminars, and followed the journey of so many people. I do it too. However, now the way I'm approaching everything is, if the minute that I pick a book, I immerse myself into start studying it. So I'm like, this book is #1 seller for a reason. I want to read it, but I want to study it because I need to identify those patterns. And that's where I'm at in this particular journey of my life. And for them, really applying, there's a topic that for me interests me, and I'm trying to dive a little more deeper. I go and pick up a book, see the expert, and really try to it. And I'm like, do I really want to adapt those things? I ask myself, do I really want to adapt those things? Once I write it down, I start asking myself, and sometimes I don't. But sometimes I'm like, yes, I think this can be very powerful. And I started designing a framework, the same framework that you have. You call it, the high achievers mindset, the achievers mindset. You start doing this framework. And I think what is most powerful is that it's coming out of nowhere. It's just born. It's just something inside of you. That's what I want to emphasize, that you've been an entrepreneur for more than you think you know. And it's very powerful. And I want to put an emphasis on this because a lot of us don't really realize how entrepreneurs. Me, I remember as I was a kid, I always been an entrepreneur. I always been asking questions. I always been super curious. Sometimes that curiosity will get me in trouble. Don't get me wrong. I'll be honest with you, especially as a kid. But even now, my curiosity has sparked some of the greatest ideas. I mean, this particular podcast, it was out of curiosity. I'm like, what would it be speed with a different mindset, when different people has different perspectives. Like, what would be like, do I have something I like? Do I have something that is going to challenge me? Do I have something that I'm going to learn? And I'm always going to, if I want to add something in my life, I'm always going to, I'm just here to learn. When I took the JCT certification, I'm like, I'm just here to learn. That's my intention. You don't speak about intention, but it's clear to me that it's ingrained in you. Intention for you is very intuitive, but how often do you say yourself and use the word intention? You haven't even mentioned the word intention for once in this particular interview that we're doing, in this particular talk. Not even once you have mentioned it. However, it is ingrained in you, and I can see, once again, I can see the pattern. You know, me, I'm able to identify certain patterns. I'm like, okay, like this is a pattern that I see. I'm like, hold on one second. You haven't even mentioned it. And to me, that's what I call reverse psychology, because we use different words, different frameworks. We're able to just to put them into place. But for you, how are you able to tap into your intention without even to thinking about it? Because it's an autopilot. It's something you do. Just say your mind to your consciousness, like, this is where we're heading to. There's no questions, there's no doubts, it might be something that, like, I don't know if it's going to work, but you're going to do it. But how are you able to tap in that particular intuition, though? Or the intention, too?
Okay, thank you so much for asking this powerful question. As I said earlier, when I embarked on this journey of self-development, it was intentionally done because I knew, whether I haven't used the word intention or not, but I knew that something is not working for me. And I always believe that person transfer from one phase of life to another when the old ways of living are no longer working for them. So when I embarked on this journey, I intentionally did. But it was at the start when I intend to do something. But when I embarked on that journey and the road started opening up, or the things started unfolding, then I realized then it is a big mess as well, because I said that it was chaotic. Okay. Things were showing up. Okay. And when I started picking up on things, let's do this. Maybe let's read books. Maybe let's go towards meditation or maybe mindfulness. These were my little intentions that I were making. But why I was making those? Because there was intent behind it, or there was a deeper why behind it. And my deeper why was to connect with myself. My deeper why was to know why I am not happy, why things are not working for me, or I am feeling unfulfilled. My bigger intention or my bigger why was to really know why certain things has happened in my life, why certain patterns are repeating in my life. At the earlier phase of this recording, I mentioned that I would like to talk about the patterns. Why? Because they are really close to my heart. My journey started by observing those patterns. And when I walked on this journey, it was my intention to really figure out why certain patterns were repeating in my life or in the lives of other people. I wanted to do it in journal, but at the same time, I am, even though it was my intuitive, intentionally done, but I was open to how the journey unfold itself. So did, I threw myself into the unknown. Intentionally, I threw myself into the unknown, which was scary as well. This journey wasn't so easy, I would say. There were up and downs, because you mentioned that when you get to the deeper and deeper level, or the subconscious mind programming, you get to see the parts of you really do not want to see, the things that you really do not want to know about yourself. And that's why I always encourage my client to be brutally honest to yourself, and I am brutally honest to myself. If there is something that is not working for me, if there is a weakness in me, or if there is something that I shouldn't be doing, I'm extremely open to myself. I'm brutally honest to myself. And this journey, when I was doing it, it was a combination of intention the deeper why, and intuition. The trust or the faith that I have in life or in the supreme power, in the God. For me, Allah. So I have that kind of trust. And day by day, months by months, years by years. Now, as you mentioned, that the intention part is ingrained in me. Now I'll just do that. I just do it on subconscious basis. In fact, I would like to give an example today. What happened when I realized it was intuition? To be very honest with you, I was coming back from my work, and I was completely prepared for the interview, and I had an intuition. I had intuition that I should check time, because I had an idea of daylight saving, because in Pakistan there is no such thing, so we are not really aware of it. I mean, we are aware of it, but sometimes you completely forget about it. So it was my intuition, and I checked, and it was, oh my God, it's 7 p.m. over here, and I need to break my fast before that. What I did, the moment I got to know, there was a surge of energy, cortisol. It could be that I could have gone into this stress mode. What I really did, and I did it on an unconscious basis. What I did, I made an intention that time. Intention. I would utilize this energy that I'm feeling right now. Either I can utilize it by being worried or stressful about the situation that I won't be able to do it or make it on time, or I can utilize this surge of energy into something productive and get my tasks done before the time, so then when it's our scheduled time, I'll be here. That was my intention that I did. And I said to my mind, we have to do it. We have to make it on time. I made that intention to be here. So even though I haven't used the word, but honestly, maybe it's because that I have programmed myself into it so much that I do it on daily basis, and sometimes I'm not even aware of it. So yeah.
Thanks so much for sharing that. That's very powerful, though. I appreciate it. I'm pretty sure the audience is going to connect with it, and I'm pretty sure people hopefully will become more aware. We obviously live in a world where everything hits information, no longer going to consume or read. We're just going to be able to watch. So I'm really grateful we're doing this, because this is going to stay for the rest of it until something else comes, which we'll see. I'm very excited about where the future, where the world is heading to when it comes down to whole AI. And Shadab, it's really amazing. It's been an honor. Thank you so much for being here. I'm really grateful for the time, for the energy, and all your insights and the wisdom that you share with us. Thank you so much. And guys, it's mind-blowing, all the insights that we touch. We touch on the subconscious. We talk about faith. We talk about the patterns. We talk about the mindset, and how the way sometimes we speak to ourselves can create the biggest impact in our life. So my suggestion to you is take a listen again to this particular podcast. We really dove into so many great insights, and you won't be able to capture so many of them at once. I guarantee you really had to go back, because we really dive into some incredible information that if you really pay attention, if you start applying it to you, see if it works. And if it doesn't, go and try something else. Not saying that this particular podcast is going to solve all your problems, but at least it's going to bring that curiosity inside of you, and you can take it from there. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you, Shadab.